The mission of Oolite Arts is to support Miami-Dade County artists. And for our board, it was a pretty easy decision for them to decide to lean in and start an acquisition program for those artists.
My practice kind of revolves around visualizing the Anthropocene and conjuring large-scale systems changes that are hard to sort of naturally imagine on our own. The piece that Oolite acquired is the Reagan Library Easy Fire. So I've been titling them, what the text says, if there is any text, and then the name of the fire.
In the piece, 45 minutes to myself, it was me trying to achieve some form of visual honesty, and that's the time it takes from me to drive from my job 1 to job 2.
I wanted to create a portrait, and I chose a portrait of a young man who has a long history here in Miami of being like a cultural practicer and creator, has been creating things here locally and sort of energizing the community for over 20 years.
During the pandemic, we needed to find ways to get funds to artists. We started a relief fund. We did a lot of different things. But one of the ideas that the board came up with that we embraced immediately was the idea of starting an acquisition program. Oolite is acquiring these works. We're going to enjoy them. We're going to exhibit them for the community. But after 5 or 6 years, we're going to take those works and we're going to donate them back out to museums across the country, wherever it will help the individual artists' careers the most.
2 drawings come from a series entitled The Malediction of Sham. And it's just a story from the Bible. This small part of the Bible has been taken like a justification to impose slavery upon black population.
Appreciate Oolite for acquiring the work because I think what they do for, I always try to vouch for them for the things that they try to do for the community and stuff like this. So for me to be a representation of the community and for them to acquire work, it means a lot to me.
The potential for an artist's career of having its work being shown and shared with others is an amazing gift.
It means a great deal for me to have a piece at Oolite. First of all, some of my very first works and installations happened when Oolite was then Art Center South Florida. So the history goes back to 1991, way back then.
I think it's important in a lot of ways. It's good for the community to be able to come in and see the work and really appreciate it or get some education to be able to appreciate it more. And it's also, to me, it's really important as a legacy.
Muhammad Ali and Nina Simone are just incredible persons. The way they fought for equality, against domination, against supremacism, and thinking that those 2 drawings could be presenting in other institutions, that means that I am part of the contemporary history of US.
It's a very humbling and very meaningful acquisition, and I think for it to be part of the collection, it not only means a great deal for me, but hopefully it can become part of Miami represents within the art community.
To have my work acquired, especially by an institution like Oolite Arts, means that it'll be protected, first of all. Also expose it to a bigger and broader audience of people, and that is very valuable to me.
So the idea of acquiring work from emerging artists and bringing them into the Oolite Arts acquisition program will be so great for these young artists. For many of them, it's their first acquisition. For some, it's very early in their career, and the work needs a home. One of the great things about this program is that it will allow mid-career artists to have their work placed in some of the great cultural institutions around the country.
So I'm really grateful for this opportunity, but also excited with all the possibilities that may happen out of this opportunity, which is unique.
So even if it were to just stay in the Oolite collection, I'd be very happy. But knowing that it has kind of like a life beyond that is nice.
The fact that it's going to a larger museum or a larger institution is great too, because they're not trying to have it for themselves. They want it to live beyond the institution that they hold here.
Not only that it's happening to me, but it's also happening to a lot of people. I think that's exactly what Miami artists need. Miami artists need a way of like leaving or having their work be shown outside of Miami.
The piece's final settling place where it will be forever, not its resting place, because it won't die there. In a museum, the work won't ever die. And that's a beautiful thing.